It's my great pleasure to introduce and welcome Imam Hamad Chelbi and President Arif Patel from the Islamic Society of Central New Jersey, our neighbors right up US 1, to bring greetings to this convention.
Lord, have mercy on us. Let me give the podium to my President Arif, then I will say a few words after him.
Greetings and good morning or early afternoon to everyone.
Greetings.
Greetings.
May God be with all of us.
Amen.
I am humbled and honored to be here. Thank you to the Bishop. Thank you to Reverend Valerie for inviting Imam Shibli, our spiritual leader of the Islamic Society of Central Jersey, for the past 35 years. Yes, we are truly blessed. And we're right up here on Route 1. Many of you probably drove past it many times. And I just want to, I know Reverend Valerie is a very humble person, and she probably doesn't know what I'm about to even say, but I've been in awe of her and humbled by her for the past 10 years or so since I've been and I've moved to the South Brunswick community. She's always smiling, always generous, always sincere. I've actually been in meetings with her, and I'm the person that always just hides in the back of the room on the South Brunswick Community Relations team. And just many things. And I always took my cue from her and others like her that served South Brunswick and the surrounding community. I'm not a scholar by any means. I'm just a humble servant of God and a volunteer. And I'm lucky to be learning from Imam Shibli and others like Reverend Valerie over the past 10 plus years. I'm not a trained speaker, as I've said. And I've heard many things over the past 10 years, and particularly in the past year. I attend a lot of different services, attend a lot of interfaith seminars, rallies. And you hear a lot of these different buzzwords: solidarity, coalition, strength, alliance, tolerance. And these are all great things, and there could be buzzwords, but my message and the way I learned from Imam Shibli and Reverend Valerie and the Bishop, they were recent guests at the Islamic Society last month. Those are words, and those are important words, but we also have to take that into action. We have to move beyond the photo ops and really build meaningful relationships and friendships. Amen. We have to convert the acquaintances into friendships. We have to take the friendships into brother and sisterhood and make it into a family. And that's really the takeaways. And those are not my words, right? These are words that I've heard from you and others and leaders that I've learned from over the past several years. And that's really the message I wanted to convey, is let's take that one step further. And yes, we are in 2017 now, and maybe we can't do the face-to-face all the time like this, but let's take advantage of WhatsApp groups, right? Social media and all these different things. And that's how we can continue to build these relationships where it's more than we're just talking about faith, which is very important to all of us. That's why we're here. But we can also talk about sports. We can also talk about food. We can talk about so many things here, right? And continue to build and develop those relationships and really become beyond acquaintances, but really become friends, where we're taking trips together, we're cracking jokes together. Good halal jokes. Halal meaning. Right, I want to be clear about that. And I really mean that by the sincerity to the bottom of my heart. And I'm hoping that we can take this one step further. And like we said, beyond the photo ops, beyond just the interface, I think it's time that as organizations and entities, that we co-adopt projects and initiatives together, right? We can easily, independently help the homeless, feed the needy. But wouldn't it be even more powerful and more impactful where we together adopt a homeless shelter? I don't know what to do. I'm not into this situation with the applause, so forgive me. I'll say one thing and then really I'll hand the mic over to Imam Shibli. But there's one thing that was profound that I've learned actually in the past couple months is the use of the word tolerance. And tolerance, it's a good word, don't get me wrong. But should we be content with the word tolerance?
No.
Right? And I'm not taking credit for it. Maybe I heard the reverend or the bishop or somebody else say this. But I know I don't tolerate my kids. I love my kids. I don't tolerate my friends. I love my friends. So this is my message. And that when I heard that, that's really resonated with me. And that's one other message that I do want to share. So let's move beyond the tolerance and really build those friendships and relationships. Because while tolerance is a word I'll tolerate, but I think we can do better than that also. So let's challenge ourselves. Thank you very much.
Lord, have mercy on us. And Mr. Arif Patel, the youngest president of any Islamic society in America, he did not say, I don't tolerate my imam. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Thank you for extending me this invitation in the spirit of a brotherhood and a friendship. It is events like these which bring us together as a neighbor, as a friend, which will see us through this time of uncertainty and confusion. Personally, I came to United States 1982. I left my beloved country, Lebanon, and you have been there, some of you, in the highest of the Lebanese civil war to find a better home for my family and myself. Since 1986, I have been as an imam, as our President Arif Patel said, of the Islamic Society of Central Jersey. Our community have been a model for integrate, diverse, social responsibility, responsible religious institution, open to all member of societies. No, any person was not allowed to come to ISCJ during the whole years. The mosque, which means Islamic church, don't laugh please, our mosque is more than just as a place of worship. It would be hard for the majority of the Muslim who are in Central Jersey, whether they live very close to the mosque or live a very far away distance, they never find any other event, whether if happiness or sorrow, not to find the Islamic Society of Central Jersey stand up for them. The Islamic Society of Central Jersey, founded in the 1970s, by learning from our neighbors as a friend and tradition, and I will consider the Islamic Society of Central Jersey still as a very young institution, cooperated in the 1970s, as I said, as the history, very close, not far away from the history of 170 years of the St. Paul Parish in Princeton. And I believe some of you are aware about it. Another institution in the area, 300 years old. That is the 6 Myron Reformed Church in Franklin Township. The Islamic Society of Central Jersey is still as a baby. This is not my word, my son Muhammad word. Although our mosque is young, but Islam in America can trace its roots back to the time of the slavery. And I believe my African American brothers and sisters in the audience, you remember that. And you never forget it. Nearly 30% of those who cross the ocean against their will to come to United States, they were Muslim, not Muslim. It wasn't until 1915 that the first American mosque was established in Maine by Muslim immigrant, talk too much about immigrant in the year 2017, from Albany. I'm sorry, Albania. Not Albany, Albania. And 1950, there were more than 20 mosques across the entire countries, and recently the survey by organization named Faith Community Today, FACT, you can Google it right away. They said, 80% of all the mosques in America were founded in the last 30 years of our age. Why I mention that? Because I have been here since 1982. I noticed how many mosques was built to be a friend of the churches. With the history in mind, it is no surprise for the people who still have a lot of questions about Muslim and Islam, about our faith, about our value, about our families, and about our tradition. And the last question came to me, and my sister verily was witness when she and I and other people who were in South Brunswick High School, when the question came to me, do you conduct your service in English? She remembered that joke. I said, yes, we conduct our service in broken English. I am often asked those questions about faith, belief, tradition, and I can tell you on my interaction with my priests, with my pastors, with my rabbis of South Brunswick Clergy Association and other faith organizations, we have more similarity between us more than what we have differences. In the same hole, under one God, as you perform your early prayer, Muslims have been in this hall since 1980 plus by having our prayer to the same God, and we collect money for our society too. When an imam and our bishop and rabbi and priest get together to discuss those issues, always they come with those questions exactly as our president said, and I will leave those questions to you to act on them. Please take note about those questions. I will stop here. My note about 6 pages, I'm not going to go further, you know. The first question is, how do we keep our children engaged in the community? Second question, how can we help the strength of our family we serve? How can we help those families who are in need? And the last question, which fundraising dinner we have been gathering together to taste the best food? In conclusion, as I said, it is organizations like the Episcopal Diocese joined by the other interfaith and civil rights organization, and we set the standard as a human being to communicate with each other as brothers, which will rescue us from this kind of hard time and amicity when we come together as a religious community. We can show the country from north to south, east to west, is a true open heart toward each other through our religion. And I like to say publicly from this podium to thank God, the one we pray for, and thank our bishop and my sister Valerie to give me this opportunity. And I will leave you with the word of peace. And in Arabic we say Assalamu alaikum, but I will say it in English, a peace and the blessing of God be upon you, all of you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.